Hey guys, welcome back to the Crazy Monkey Midwest video blog. This is Matt from Crazy Monkey Midwest Martial Arts. And in this blog, what I want to do is put something together for the people that are just starting out or the people that are considering starting in martial arts and give you some tips for how you can get the most benefit out of your the beginning part of your martial arts journey. So in short, we can call this post how to be a good beginner in martial arts. Certainly these are things that if you're not a beginner and maybe you've overlooked some of these things, you can benefit from this also, and some of these ideas might help you in getting more out of your training and just being more productive in your training. So what I have are 5 simple steps, 5 simple rules that I think will help you be a good beginner and make progress. One of the things that's typically kind of tough for beginners is they feel like they're not making progress. So they're still brand new, there's tons of information, sometimes it's a little bit overwhelming, and they don't really know what to focus on in order to get better and to get past that beginner stage and move on to a more intermediate to advanced level. So these are some ideas that I think will really help you. The first tip I would give you is don't get lost or hung up on details. This is maybe a little controversial. Some people maybe teach beginners in a way that's very, very detail oriented. I used to teach that way, and I found that people don't really process that much information at any one time. So take the pressure off yourself a little bit. Don't worry about trying to get every single detail right when you're learning a new technique or anything like that. And this is also for the coaches out there. Don't give your people, especially beginners, don't snow them with information. Don't give them too much information because they're not going to be able to internalize all of that information anyway. So don't worry about the details, which sort of leads to the second tip, which is I tell people to focus on shapes. So what do I mean by shapes? Generally speaking, what I mean is if you look at kind of the body positions when you're doing different techniques, whether it's standing up on the ground, with a weapon, empty hands, whatever, there's a general shape that you're making with your body. So you're either upright or you're hinging at the hips or you're rotating or moving or this or that. And what you should really focus on, I think, as a beginner is try to get the overall shape correctly. This will help you kind of get away from over focusing on the details. Just try to get the general gist of what you're trying to do correct, and the way to do that is to focus on shapes. Focus on kind of what shape are you trying to make with your body or with certain parts of your body in relation to the opponent or in relation to the pads or the mat or whatever you're actually working with. The third tip, which I think the sooner you can incorporate this, the better off you're going to be, regardless of what kind of martial art you're practicing, and that's to try to engage multiple senses. So what we typically do is most of us rely on our eyes, and we pretty much only rely on our eyes. We don't engage other senses either at all, or we don't start to engage them until we start to make mistakes, and then eventually we figure out that, hey, you need to do this by feel, or you need to listen to something, or you need to engage your senses a different way. So particularly the main one that you need to engage, in addition to using your eyes, is touch. You need to try to get the feel for a particular movement. And if you have trouble with this, or if you're having trouble getting this going, this is how you can ask good questions. So rather than asking your coach or your instructor, hey, does this look right? You can ask things like, how is this supposed to feel? Right now it feels like my weight is here, or right now it feels like I'm pushing into my partner and I'm not able to move them at all, or something like that. And you can ask those kind of questions, and maybe your coach can sort of give you the better tips to help you progress, to help you kind of learn that movement. So try to engage multiple senses. Tip number 4 is make mistakes. You're a beginner. You're supposed to make mistakes. Make lots of mistakes. And really the only way to do that is to just try things. Just try it out. Keep trying. Keep going after it. And guess what? The more times you try, in the beginning, the more times you try, the more mistakes you're going to make. And that's totally the right thing that you should be doing. You should be making mistakes. Reason why that's important, which kind of brings us to the last tip, is if you don't make mistakes, then you won't have the ability to let your coach or your instructor be the instructor. Their job is to correct your mistakes and to point out, hey, here's what you're doing, try this instead. Change this a little bit, try this differently. And the only way they know how to do that is they have to see you try things out. They have to see you try things out, make mistakes, so that they know what to correct. Oftentimes, as instructors, we'll give kind of the minimal number of instructions to get you started, and then we'll let you go. And we want to just let you try something out and watch you before we start giving you more details. The reason why is we want to see you try out what we're doing, what we're giving you, and see what mistakes you make. And if you make mistakes, then we correct them. So you have to just try things out and make mistakes, and then let your coach you. That's tip number 5. Let your coach be a coach. Let your instructor be an instructor. And that means let them worry about all the little details and let them help you correct those mistakes. So just to recap, 1, don't get lost in the details, because sort of to sum this up, that's what your instructor's for. Their job is to focus on details. Your job is to not get lost in the details. Instead, focus on the big picture or focus on shapes. Just get the general idea. Do the best you can, get kind of a general feel for what it's supposed to look like, and then moving into tip number 3, using multiple senses. So what is it supposed to feel like? If you're hitting pads or hitting a heavy bag, what's it supposed to sound like when you kick the bag the right way, using your shin instead of your foot? Or when you elbow the pad, using the tip of your elbow versus your forearm. It sounds different, so engage multiple senses. And then the last 2, make mistakes. Try things out, make mistakes, and then let your coach or your instructor help you correct those mistakes. Let them be the instructor and help them, let them fix the mistakes for you, so that way you can continue on and make progress. So 5 pretty simple tips. They kind of go in a natural sequence. So if you review that again, you'll see it kind of goes in a logical order. But those are just some tips that I think will help you get started on the right foot. And anytime you show up to class and you're learning something new, I think those will help you get into the right mindset to where you will not waste a lot of time, not waste a lot of energy, and help avoid a lot of frustration. So you'll be able to make progress more quickly, and then get past that beginner stage to where you really start to ramp up and have more fun. So I hope you got something out of this post. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can hit us up on Facebook, Crazy Monkey Midwest Martial Arts. And again, you can always find us at crazymonkeymidwest.com.